Good morning. It's Jeffrey Cohen. It's Friday. It's August 12th. I'm an investment advisor representative with Chicago Quantum, or US Advanced Computing Infrastructures Incorporated, and we are a non-discretionary registered investment advisor in Illinois. So what that means is if you need someone to help you look at stocks, do detailed quantitative analysis on the whole field of US listed stocks, that's what we do. We serve high net worth individuals. We serve investment houses, money managers, portfolio managers, funds. And so we'd be happy to work with you. We also do a little bit of investing of our own money, which can be quite frustrating at times. But in general, it keeps us pretty busy. And so what are we going to talk about today? It's Friday. I'm wearing a red shirt. And the reason I'm wearing a red shirt is in sympathy with all the bears out there. So there are a lot of bears out there. Everyone talks about how the market's going to fall. And if you look yesterday the market was up nicely, right? The S&P 500 hit 4260. That's crazy talk. And then came all the way down to 4207. That's pretty rough, right? But that's actually a 1% move intraday. And you're seeing a lot of movement in the S&P 500. In fact, that could be how we spend the whole time, but it won't be, is talking about the S&P 500 and why is it so volatile, right? There's a lot to talk about there. And so we are going to talk about a few other things, and I'm going to zoom in here for you. We're going to talk about banks, and we're going to talk about interest rates. So the banks are up. KRE is a bank ETF. U.S. regional banks are doing great. I guess the recession fears are over. Inflation fears are over. I read a headline that says defaults are down. Debt defaults on things like cars and mortgages. And everything is awesome. And so the banks love it. And then you look at bond futures. The 30-year bond is still trading at 140, which is healthy. Right? The 10-year at 119. Now, they've been higher. I've seen the bond futures at 143 and 121, but, not bad. You look at interest rates, a 30-year yield is yielding 3.173%. It's still around a 3% 30-year. It's peaking up a little bit yesterday. I don't know why it did that. So interest rates came up. The 10-year is still below 3%. The 5-year is still just below 3%. 2 years above 3%. That's always interesting. And for 13-week money is 2.5%. Now we use 2.5% as a risk-free return in our model. 13-week Treasury, that basically shows you that our model is not kind of keeping up or keeping ahead of the risk-free rate. And the reason is that we are not finding bank accounts, savings accounts, money market accounts that in general are better than 2.5. Now, CFG Community Bank is one of the banks that we follow. I'm going to pull it up off screen and it's funny, CFG is one of those banks that we follow. It is an interesting financial institution and one that we look at. That is so funny. Citizens Financial Group. All right, we do not have a position in CFG, Citizens Financial, nor are we looking to start a position in CFG, but just to talk about it. Over the past year, you can see the bank has hit as high as 55. That's right. And now it's climbing back up to 40 from a low of about 36. So interesting is if Citizens Financial, which is a pretty big bank, is able to go 255, then my guess is we should be raising the rates, right? Now that lowers the return on stocks. That is not good for stocks. So that's one thing to think about when you think about the market is our interest rates going up? And it might be. By the way, if you're out there, go ahead. Ask me anything. We like that. Makes us happy. I'm trying not to show you my positions this morning. I just don't want to. So what else is interesting out there? So the other thing was the breadth was really good yesterday. It was 3-1, new highs to new lows. But I did look that on the corporate bonds, it was actually looks like about 1.5 new lows for every new high. So corporate bonds are still falling. Those that are down are still falling. Although, in general, high yield went up more than it went down. Looks like it's about 1.4, 1.3 to 1. And investment grades fell more than they rose, about 1.5 to 1. So your high yield is recovering. It's almost like an inversion of the corporate debt curve. The more risky, the less it's falling. The less risky, the more it's falling. So there is a red paintbrush on corporate bonds. Just something to know about. I know some people think that bond investors are smarter somehow than stock investors, and you might be right. So banks over the past month have looked up. KRE is an ETF that tracks regional banks. So banks are looking good, looking solid, right? Looking fresh. So if you look at the market yesterday, how did it do? Were there any stocks that stood out? Is there anything interesting? Is there any pre-market action? I don't know. I know I'm looking at the stocks that I track pre-market, and I've got one short, and I am going to get just spanked today. I think I'm going to get killed on my short today. I think the market, at least in Chicago Quantum's case, is an interesting market right now, and so I'm watching. I'm watching off screen because a lot of this stuff is happening, and it's a little proprietary there. So futures are up this morning. Now I'm wearing a red shirt. So when I wear a red shirt, it means that the stocks are going to go down. So let's see if that happens today. Now, what's interesting is the VIX is not down. The VIX is at 2130. The VIX is down when it's under 20. But it has been in a relentless fall for a long time. It kind of bounced yesterday. It was interesting. Crude oil's down. Dollar's up. That's weird. Dollar's up. Crude oil's down. Those go together because oil is priced in dollars. Gold is down, which means, like oil, gold is priced in dollars. Gold's really falling then. Silver's down. Copper's down. But copper's not really down at 365. 365 is a good price for copper. It's a recovery price for copper. And so I think what's happening today is there's these little tiny movements, but in general, you can't tell me that the S&P 500 at 42.25 is cheap. We called a top at 44.32. It hit maybe 48, 46. That's 10%. You're down 10% from the highs on the S&P 500. This is an up market right now. And you look at bonds. Bonds are up. That means yields are down. Today looks great. Pre-market, today looks great. You want to be buying stocks today. You want to be adding to your portfolios. Wow. Let me just say it again. Dollar's strong, which is not good for stocks, right? VIX is down, which usually goes with a safe stock market. Futures, U.S. equity futures are up. Nikkei looks like it was up bigly yesterday. Europe looks like it's up. Crude oil is down, which is nice for the consumer. Bond yields down, which is good for borrowers and corporations. Your economically sensitive commodities are basically flat. Crypto's down. Now that's interesting. That says some of your risk money, especially out of China, is down. Something must be going on with China. We'll take a look at some Chinese equities. And then foreign exchange. So yesterday, the euro dollar was at 103 and change. Now we're down to 102 and change. That's interesting. But suffice to say that the euro dollar isn't even close to a dollar anymore. It's popping back up. Oh my God, yes. Canadian dollar, though, the Canadian dollar weakened, the U.S. dollar strengthened against it. Japanese yen at 134. You're kind of in the ballpark. Nothing's really outside of ranges now. Everything is kind of where you'd expect it to be. I just think that's so interesting. Nothing's really happening. Hey man, what's happening? I don't know. We'll take a look. Let's look at our stock positions. Ooh, we're only down $64,000 on a $60,000 portfolio. Oh, that's great, Jeff. You're real smart with your own money. That's because I didn't use the model to buy these stocks. I didn't listen to my friends or my clients. But if we take a look, American Shared Hospital Services had earnings last night that were very attractive earnings. American Shared Hospital Services revenue increased to $5 million in the quarter. Their earnings increased to 8 cents. They have $1.91 on the books. Book value is $3.32 a share. Stock closed yesterday at $2.50. American Shared Hospital Services is probably good for a nice bump, probably a 20% bump right now. Very excited about that. Verizon's been bumpy. It's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with that. And Hallador Energy continues to rise. Thinly traded coal mining company going to be issuing earnings August 16th. So August 15th is the earnings after hours, and August 16th in the afternoon is when they're going to discuss their situation. Hallador may run into earnings. That's fine. We're short and nervous as hell, but that's just the way it is. You got Corbis. Now, what's interesting about Corbis, it traded 1.6 million shares and really hasn't moved. And so the stock's been climbing. People have been trading it in the mornings. But during the day, it's very sleepy. If anything, it's low in the mornings. Look at the 5-day. Lots of movement. Don't know what's going to happen with that one. And so, but what I wanted to look at, more importantly, is where are the international... Jeffrey, show me the international markets. I don't care about Hallador Energy. I never cared about Hallador Energy, Jeffrey. Who cares about Hallador Energy? By the way, I think they're still going to have a going concern rating, although they did raise a lot of money from insiders, which they then immediately, most of it, converted to stock. So it's basically they're diluting their stock, which is probably okay because they need $18 million for capital investments through the remainder of 2022, of which $10 million are maintenance. And you've got to keep the coal mines operating safely. And so my guess is all the money they're raising it isn't for the new power plant. It's just to keep the mines running, which that's okay. That's a good thing to do. So it's interesting. The VIX at 20. It's still cheap. VIX at 20. The UK is up 1/4 point. It's not much. The French are up 1/4 point. Germans are up 1/2. The FTSE, larger UK, is up 1/3 of a point. Belgium, 0.6. The Nikkei was up 2.5%. The Nikkei screamed higher yesterday. China, mainland China's down. SSE in Shenzhen down 1/8, 1/7. Stupid. 1/8 and about a 1/2. Australia's down 1/2. It's probably on falling commodity prices because they do a lot of export. South Korea's up tiny. New Zealand's up tiny. Malaysia's flat. Jakarta's down 1/2 point. A lot of things fell in Jakarta. I think the only thing that was up when we looked last time was the telecom. Mexico's up. Mexico raised interest rates. So it's interesting. A little bit like Turkey. Not that I'm going to compare the two, but for a moment I'm going to compare the two. So stocks go up. So Mexico has an inflation problem. Currency, they want to defend the currency. Currency's been falling against the US dollar. So you're basically down, and so now they're raising interest rates, and also northern Mexico has a drought. It's so interesting. Mexico's in such big trouble that I wonder if now is a time to maybe put a few bucks to work in Mexico. Mexico's got a lot of trouble, but Mexico is defending their currency. Mexico is working hard to defend their currency, and honestly, I think that's good. I do. I think it's good. I think when Mexico takes the initiative and defends their currency and raises interest rates and fights inflation. Look at that, 19.9. It's down below 20. So that's nice. That's a strengthening of the Mexican peso, which I think is important. What do you think? So, Pumpkin, come here. Pumpkin says, I don't like the Mexican currency. I think it's going to go back up over 20. But I don't know, Pumpkin, because they raise interest rates to like 9%. That's a big deal. Maybe. Mexico's got some problems right now. Let's look at Turkey. So when we look at Turkey, we look at TUR, which is an ETF. Now this ETF, we looked at it like 2 years ago. We ran our model, our Chicago Quantum Net Score, on the whole Turkish equity market. And this TUR is an ETF with a lot of seasoning on it, and so it only runs about half. It only takes the correlation about half of the Turkish market. There is a Turkish index, but I can't get it in enough detail to run it. But you look at this, and you've seen over the past year, Turkey's been up and down. The struggle with the Turkish market. Not that anyone's going out and rushing out to buy Turkish stocks, but Turkey's risk-free rate is like 17.5%, 18%. And they're doing that to fight their own inflation. And so it's really hard for a stock to go up when the risk-free rate of return is 17.5%. Why wouldn't you just put your money in the bank and earn 17.5%, right? So that's the Turkish issue. Let's go back to the futures. Yeah, I mean, we're green this morning. I don't know. I don't know that I got this big commit right here. So one of the things that's interesting, somebody posted something yesterday and said, oh, volume is down, volume is down. Volume is not that down. Look at that. Volume was significantly lower last summer when the market was rising. Okay, so we look at that. So I don't know if you can see this. So let's take a look. Let's zoom in. I want you to see this because there's a lot. When you go on, so we're on FinTwit. We are. I love FinTwit. I am like a huge Twitter guy, right? I want to tweet my little heart out all the time. I love it. I love tweeting. By the way, I am not the president of the United States, so I don't tweet the way the president of the United States tweets. And I did just block a porn star who followed me because I don't really want to get all into that kind of stuff. But healthy, got 2,410 followers. But I tweet a lot about stocks and things like that. And if you ever want to follow us, it's pretty cool. The other thing that I do, just kind of running on here while I wait for stocks to actually show me a sign, is we have a website, chicagoquantum.com, and the first page just basically shows you who we are, what we do. But under investment information, it's not that you can invest in our funds because we do not have open funds. We don't take your money. I don't know, something about that. There was a rabbi. There is a rabbi. I think he's still alive. I hope he's still alive. Rabbi, if you're still alive, Rabbi Bob, hope you're doing great. Rabbi Bob said, Jeff, I'd like to give you some money to invest. And I thought to myself, my gosh, if I invest the rabbi's money and lose it, I'm never going to sleep at night. Can you imagine a rabbi shows up at temple and his outfit is ripped and he's down. He can't look at everybody. He looks hungry. He's like, yeah, Jeff lost all my money in the stock market. Now, on the other hand, let's paint the story the other way. The rabbi, all of a sudden, makes a lot of money in the stock market. Flashy. He's got bling. He's got the gold chains going. He was an older guy, right? He's got the big watch. They love to wear the big watch, right? Rolex. He's got ladies all over him. It's crazy. Comes to temple and says, you know what? I'm not going to be a rabbi anymore. Jeff Cohen made me so much money in the stock market that I'm going to be an entertainer now. I'm going to go and I'm going to preach online because I make so much money. I love it. And I've got 3 houses now. I don't want that either. I don't want to be responsible for people's livelihood. But on the other hand, I'm happy to run the numbers, run the data. So what I do is I publish information. As opposed to handling your money, you handle your money. I'm going to give you the information so that you have a better edge, that you can maybe make a lot more money. So we publish for free right now. We don't ask for a subscription or anything. Negative beta stocks. Who are the top dividend stocks? Are there leptokurtic and platykurtic stocks? High and low beta. Positive negative skew. Stocks that have fallen in price. Price and volume spikes and stocks that split. We also have some ongoing research efforts. Our Today's Insights is a blog. We're also doing a lot of active work right now on variance of stock exchanges and U.S. listed stocks of foreign companies. We publish a list. And then if you want to contact me, that's great. If you want to buy a run, that's how we get paid. Thank you. Very helpful. And project services. Interesting that it says newsletter services. See, I don't have a newsletter, so that's something we probably should fix. But take a look. Like as an example, negative beta stocks, right? Here they are. You want a negative beta stock? Jump all over it. That's good. What else do I want to talk about? Let's take a quick run through the economic data. I keep looking. The stocks just aren't moving. The stocks that I want to move aren't moving. And the stocks that I don't want to move is going to move the wrong way, I think. So we're in trouble. So earning 2.5% in your money is great. What I'd recommend, if you have $10,000 to invest, go to treasurydirect.gov and you could purchase I-bonds at the current rate through October 2022. That's 9.62% interest rate for the first 6 months. It's a lot of money. You want to be buying those bonds. Of course, we don't make any money if you buy the bonds, but you make money. So go ahead. If you got an extra 10 grand, drop it, go to Treasury Direct and buy I-bonds or inflation-protected bonds, savings bonds. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can buy up to $10,000 a year. It's good. It's very good. Very good way to invest money safely, insured, good interest rate. Or you could buy D-Wave stock, which is a new IPO for a quantum computer company, and I'm sure you'll sleep a little less well at night because the stock's all over the place. Or you could buy Corbis, my favorite stock, and the stock many favorite of many people's. And you take a look at Corbis, and let's see, is it to zero yet? Is it going to zero? I don't know. Maybe. Is it going to 100? Maybe. 100 cents. $1. Maybe. I love that stock. Do you know both the CEO and CFO just bought some? But instead of buying a lot, the CEO bought $1,000 worth. Well, that's a real commitment there. I love it. $1,000. What are you doing? You'd almost be better off not buying any of it, right? But I guess they just wanted a little rounding error, right? Why not? CFO bought 20,000 shares, which was nice. What else we got? So we got Treasury Direct. I mean, I could sit here all day and follow my stocks, but they're just not moving anywhere. Got the tweet deck. People are retweeting our tweets. I love it. So, Corbis. People are calling for Corbis to go to 100 cents on the dollar. In fact, I'm going to tweet that I just heard that. I just heard on a video live stream that I can't type that. You see what happens is anyone can type anything on Twitter. And there's no checking and there's none of that. So just be careful what you read on Twitter. Darkweb.com. I love it. Guys, I love it. Just be careful out there and don't be a scammer. Just don't do it. All right, let's see. Is there anything active today? Watch lists. I got no watch lists. There ain't no party. There ain't no disco. There ain't no fooling around. Let's see, anything trending this morning? Now that I got a lot of people watching the show. Oh, We Trade. PBR is up. So first off, I love PBR. I always have a 6-pack of PBR in the fridge. Pabst Blue Ribbon. But that's not what this is. This is Petroleo Brasileiro SA, or otherwise known as Petrobras, Brazil. Oh, the Honest Company. I don't trust them. Rivian lost like a couple $1 billion. You know, AMC ran yesterday afternoon. I was watching it. AMC ran yesterday afternoon. It was crazy. Crazy talk. I love it. I love seeing when AMC runs like that. Anything? There's nothing here on a Friday. Let's just run through the stuff that we normally look at. So the Honest Company, bunch of liars. AMC, it's not very entertaining. I got 1 million of them. I think this is important, guys. The market's been going up first thing in the morning and then fading all day. So you get gains in the morning and it fades all day, right? So you buy in the open and then you short all afternoon. What else we got here worth looking at? I don't think there's much news. I think it's just a melt up. You remember that from before? Big fat melt up. Futures are up. Everything's up. Except mainland China's not up. But that's painful. I don't like to see that. Oh. Don't expire. I need the pre-market up. Yep. I think today's going to be a good day for us. So Bitcoin's down about $1,000, about $900. That's a little rough today. Bitcoin being down always just makes me a little nervous. So there's the Russell. The Russell was up earlier this morning, overnight while I was sleeping. But you can see the Russell's up this week. The NASDAQ. I'm doing a 5-day if you can't see it. NASDAQ's up this week. And the S&P's up this week. Let's look at it for a month. The S&P has been just printing money all month. The NASDAQ, printing money all month. The Russell 2000, small cap, printing money all month. Look at that. Just start from the month. Wherever that first number is, 1738. 1985. You're up 250 points. 247 points. 250 points. You're up 12.5% for the month. Don't give me any shit. The market's going up right now. The market is in a absolute bear market rally. It's a bear market, but it's a rally off the bottom. What you don't know is it a turn? And did the market start to go up now? Or is it just a bear market rally? Is it just a hiccup? Look at that VIX falling. I just want you to know that, right? Fear. Fear is gone in this market. I wonder if it's because it's all the noobs trading. A lot of noobs out there. I don't mind if the noobs want to bid up my stocks. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm not selling. But I'll definitely take the appreciation. I'd like it if my investment, if I were to go positive, it'd be up another 60 grand. That would be awesome. If you're listening out there, make my shorts go down and make my longs go up. By the way, my wife will be happy if my shorts go down and my long goes up. She'll be very happy. She likes that. All right, what else we got? Oh. Looks like Ford is hosed. U.S. opens probe into 1.7 million Ford vehicles over brake hose recall. Oh, that's not helpful. Oh, how are your brakes doing? Oh, I don't know. I'm hosed. The brakes failed. The hose fell off. Or maybe there's a hole in it. You know, one of the ways that you can make a car crash is you put little holes in the brake line. And then the brake fluid comes out. And then when they hit the brakes, they crash. So don't do that. So Ford's doing that on purpose. 1.7 million vehicles. I guess it's one way to sell more cars. Put some holes in the brake lines. Don't do that, Ford. Be good. Be nice to people. Make nice cars. I got a Toyota. Thing never breaks. Knock on wood. Love the Toyotas. The Scions, the Toyotas, great cars. Very reliable. Very boring, but very reliable. I also have a Chevy Camaro. I do love the Chevys. So we're good there too. And I don't call it Chevrolet. I call it a Chevy Camaro, not a Chevrolet Camaro. I'm sorry. 1 month Treasuries. It's interesting. They're fighting to be over 2.1. 1 year Treasury, 3.1. But like this earlier this morning was 3.3. I don't know why it's moving so much. That's a weird move. This is also down this morning, but again, it's a little when things move pre-market like this and they move so aggressively. It was like 2.9 this morning, and now it's 2.86. Still a pretty big move. When we look at the 30-year, same thing. Running about 3.15 and now down to 3.125, 3.13. So interest rates dropping. That's actually a way to get stocks to go up, or at least it makes stocks want to go up. CPI, 8.5% over the past year. In the previous month, CPI was unchanged. You can argue whether that's zero inflation or not. In the eyes of Chicago Quantum, it's zero inflation. Zero. We beat inflation in July. Who knows what August is going to run, right? That's the point. But at least for 1 month, we did a good job. And one of the... Oh, did it... Yeah, we have a new observation. Yay. Hang on. So we look at this. This is the Treasury total assets on the books of the Treasury. And so when they reduce the number of assets on the books, it's a good thing. Up. So they took up the assets by 74 to 79. Well, shoot, guys. They took it up $5 billion. Don't do that. So what that means is they added pieces of paper, IOUs, to the to the Treasury's asset register and they pump money out. Oh, inflation was 0. We better pump some money out into the population there. No, stop. Just keep tightening. It's only a month, right? You didn't solve inflation in a month. Go, go, go. Do it. Do the right thing. Mortgage-backed treasury or mortgage-backed securities are down. 30-year fixed up slightly at about 5.3 for a 30-year conforming mortgage. Mortgage-backed securities significantly weaker today. So they would be weaker because interest rates are going up, but interest rates aren't going up this morning. Interest rates are going down this morning. So there's a very slight disconnect in the mortgage-backed security market. Ever so slight disconnect. That's okay. Maybe something else is going on. It's just another way to bet on interest rates. Again, Bitcoin is up. Now, I know you'd look at this and say it's down a percent, Jeffrey. It's down. But really, Bitcoin is up. It's at 23.7, right? It bounced nicely off of its support level of 20,000. But it's not quite running a 30, so it's doing okay. We do like to look at zero hedge. Zero hedge is a bit of an aggressive news source. Holy crap. And just like that, the CDC says people exposed to COVID no longer need to quarantine. There's some interesting news here. I have to think about all this. The madness of groupthink. So I'm going to read these articles later. All right, well, futures are set to be up. Life is good. We're going to take a look at some of the proprietary indices that we've made to see how the market's doing. So the market is up 0.5 point this morning. 0.5%. That's great. Your quantum companies, generally speaking, they're up this morning. People want to invest in quantum this morning. Oh yeah, I woke up and I wanted to invest in quantum computing this morning. It doesn't sound very likely. A little bit of movement. It's balanced on the chips, computers and chips. Trucking and transport, economically sensitive, is up a little bit. Looks like trucking is up a little. Gas must be down. Gas must be down. And just like that, gasoline's down almost 6 cents in the morning. So trucking looks good because trucking uses a lot of gas. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you, Jeffrey. Good connection there. Chips and semiconductors, pretty much all green except for Lattice. People want to make some bets, some leverage bets today. Cannabis. It's interesting. The only cannabis stock not up is Corbis. Corbis is not up. Every other cannabis stock is up, but Corbis, or it's flat. I think that's great. Thanks, guys. we're long Corbis, so of course it's not going to go up. Crypto and miners, balanced, mixed. Some metals, real metals, are up. Some real metals are down. Some crypto's up. Some crypto's down. So coal, pre-market, looking pretty strong. It's interesting. Specialty retail and furniture. You know what? That's a lot of green. I guess people have money to spend. The recession's over, guys. I don't know if anyone told you, but last one out, turn out the lights. The recession's over. Pre-market, you got some pretty good strength there in the money managers. Some are down, but many are up. Many are flat. Regional banks. It's interesting that one of them is down 5% pre-market. Banks don't fall 5% pre-market. They don't. Farmers National Bank, we've been tracking that one. That's down 1% pre-market. And yet Esquire, which I think is a one-bank branch company, bank holding company, that's a Hawaii bank. Yeah, you got banks up too. So some up, some down. There's not a story here, guys. It's not a good story. There's just a bunch of individual movements. In general, though, it's a little more green than red, but not a lot of movements. And so, all right. EJH. I guess sister-in-law services aren't hot right now in China. Because people are mad at their sister-in-laws. They're not interested in home services, and why would you spend money to have people come to your house when you're not making a lot of money? Not a lot of movement. It's going to be a slow morning. That's how I see it. And for our stocks, American Shared Hospital Services at 270. Hallador Energy at 723. Qubits at 1201. Verizon at 4488. Corbis at 26 cents. Warrants on Qubits. Warrants on D-Wave is 66 cents. So, good luck in the markets today. I'm sure you're going to have a wild ride. And, we'll just have to see what happens. It's so interesting. I'll just show you a little bit of something here. I'm not even going to call it Inside Baseball because it's not. It's just Corbis. And American Shared Hospital Services. So pre-market, Corbis doesn't have a lot of shares listed. It's like 50,000 for sale, 54,000 for sale, 143,000 to buy. But I got cut yesterday. I think I got eaten by some bugs while I was out jogging. Stupid. This is our website, which is always very exciting to look at. I could spend all day. So American Shared Hospital Services has traded 2,430 shares. It's up 20 cents. It's not really moving. Hallador Energy traded 59 shares. That's crazy talk. Verizon, 8,000 shares. It's up 10 cents. That's great. We're long Verizon stock options, calls. Corbis, 2630, traded 1.6 million shares. So what I don't understand, that's a lot of shares. That is a lot of shares. 1.6 million shares pre-market. What's going on? I feel like people are positioning themselves for Corbis. And not a cheap amount either. Look at that. They're willing to pay up for Corbis. And so, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be in play. Maybe not. But that's interesting to us. And I think the interest rates are important. I don't see a movement. I don't see a lot of consistent movement on the interest rates. I mean, these are good, healthy values, right? You've got a pretty nice recovery there. Now, 30-year bond at 140, right? It was down at 132. It was up at 145. It's not bad. It's not a bad situation there. In fact, if you look, I mean, of course, it's been much higher. It's been 160, 170, right? But it's also been lower. So, yeah, you kind of recovered there. So, all right, well, have a great day today in the markets. Hope you make money. Be careful, be safe out there. It sure looks like the equities are going up this morning. We are wearing red today in honor of bears that are out there. By the way, Saturday is the first pre-market game for the Chicago Bears against the Chiefs. So we're going to be watching that. And just have a good day today. Good luck. Bye-bye now.